Look in the mirror now and I would agree. Before I didn't know that I'm golden, I'm out of control. Look at me now and I'm the girl of my dream. I built my self-esteem, built up a routine. Told myself no matter where I go, there ain't P. It can't be P-A-R-S. You can't borrow this. Wasn't made for you, it's for me. Yeah, yeah. See, I'm trying to.
Very good. So excited to talk to you today.
Yes, very excited to talk to you as well.
Oh my God. So before we start, your mother, she's an author.
Yes, she is.
She wrote the one with like the magic puff balls, I
Yeah,
think.
she wrote
Oh
Penny Football.
yeah.
That's crazy, you know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. So
Oh, but it's so funny. I actually, um, my live in like my family's basement, the whole basement, like I use it as like my creative space, and her Penny stuff is right here. And that book was actually written technically about me. But I just went to a predominantly white school, and I remember coming home because these girls asked me, why don't you wear your hair down? And I was like, Mom, I hate being brown because I can't wear my hair down. And so she started telling me this bedtime story that she made up of this little girl named Penny. And when my grandma passed away, she decided to turn it into a book. But it started just as like a bedtime story for me, just to like get confidence. So that's so awesome, you know about it.
that is freaking awesome that she wrote that and that it's about you. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I remember when I first like saw the cover art for it and I was like, wow, this is so cool. In the future
right.
when I have kids, I'll definitely read this book to them.
Oh, thank you. That's so appreciated.
You're welcome.
What a small world. That's crazy.
I know. So how has quarantine been for you and have you picked up any new hobbies?
Yes, I definitely have. Quarantine's been pretty relatively good for me. I've been spending a lot of time with my family, and that's been awesome and like obviously invaluable. Like with Mother's Day being here, my mom's birthday was a couple days ago. So it's looking like my birthday is going to be in quarantine too at the end of July. So it's good family time, remembering what really matters. I've been trying to stay creative, so I've been painting a lot. I've been doing some poetry, um, and just listening to music more than ever. Just trying to like stay creative.
Now, were you a painter before, or did this kind of just start during quarantine?
Yeah, I was not a painter. It did start during quarantine. Like I had time on my hands, but I think I was just like, dang, I have the time to do it, and doing the same type of thing, especially with songwriting being like my job. I was like, all right, I need to like try to expand a little bit and just see what I can even do and come up with. And so I figured out that I really am good at painting trees, but that's about it.
Well, that's more than what I can do, so I'm not a painter.
Oh no.
Your album Too Real came out this Friday, so tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, I'm so grateful. It's finally out. It's doing what it's doing. I'm so proud of it. Like I'm honestly really, really proud of it. And I think when I was first thinking that I wanted to put out like a complete body of work, my first two EPs, Bloom and Flexa, were pretty shorter than this one. And so it was like a little bit less difficult for me to kind of conceptualize a fluid line of thinking through the whole song, like through all of the songs. And so I was able to do that with this one. And I think the challenge to me that I gave myself was just, you want people to listen to you. You want people, I don't really care so much about fame. I'm not one of those people that's like really clout chasing, but I do want to be heard, and so I was thinking, all right, well, if I want to be heard so much, what is it that I have to say that's so important? What is it that I have to say that will make people want to listen to me and will make people feel like, they're heard too in their experience. If a bunch of people are going to follow me and listen to me, I got to put out a message that is inclusive. And so based on that, I think I did that. I think I'm really proud of it. I am.
I'm definitely feeling your song Chocolate, I love that song. You know, I'm chocolate, so of course I identify with it, but I really, really
Yeah.
like it. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Also, on your album, you a long time ago you recorded a conversation with your mom and you put it
Yeah.
on there and you surprised her with it on Mother's Day. And how did she react to that?
Yeah, okay. Well, my mom is like one of my biggest inspirations. Like both my parents are absolutely incredible people, but like as far as parenting, they've just influenced so much of my artistry. My literally like what I was raised on, and also just when I started making music, they've always been so encouraging. So I definitely wanted to like pay homage to that. I talk about my mom a lot in songs, and so for this one, I recorded that conversation like 2 years ago, and she had no idea. And when I told her about a week ago, like, oh, I forgot to tell you, you're on one of the songs. And she was like, "What? What do you mean?" Like, she was really trying to figure it out. She was like, did I sound mean? Like, did I say anything?" And I was like, "No, no, it's good. It's gonna be fine." And so when she heard it, she was really, really pleasantly surprised. She was actually really hyped. Like she kept telling everybody, like, "Run up my streams," because I told her I told her she had 100% writing credit on it. So she was like, "Run it up, give me my royalties." So that was great. It was awesome.
So your album came out during quarantine. Was it difficult for you to promote it since we're all kind of like on lockdown?
Yeah, I think I didn't promote it the way that I would have wanted to, especially like I had a huge video shoot for Slim Thick already like fully drawn out with like, 20 other people involved. And so it kind of put a lot of stop to a lot of the things that I was going to have as assets to come out. But when you come down to it, most musicians started making their music by themselves in their room. And so
Hmm.
a lot of it is just like, all the glitz and the glam have now been stripped down and taken away. So now we're just left with just the music and just the listeners and just the things that you can do with the resources that you have. And so I think that at first I was a bit discouraged by that because, obviously I wanted it to be a big production. But then again, it's like at the end of the day, I just want the music to be heard,
Hmm.
and the rest of it's kind of just glitz and glam. And because everybody's inside, I think that people are listening to music more now than ever is what I'm finding out. And people are still finding ways to do things. So I think at first I was discouraged, but I'm pretty excited to see, everything pick up and see where when things do go back to normal, like how these songs are gonna just, be given new life.
Hmm. Speaking of Slim Thick, you said growing up, not a woman looked like you, and that you had to find, your confidence. And I know how difficult that can be. So, how did you find it, and what advice can you give to other women who are struggling with the same thing?
Yeah, well, I think for me it was like a duality aspect because I was yeah, like I'm thick, yes, but I was also black in a place where there was not a lot of other black girls. And this was kind of before Instagram really was as poppin' as it is now. And so there was kind of like Nicki Minaj, and like people would compare me to her, and I was like, I'm not Nicki Minaj. I got a big booty, and and so I didn't really know like what to do with that, and I was insecure about that because like I would wear something that another girl would wear, and they'd be like, oh, people would make comments or they would say, oh, you trying, and I was like, no, I just got a big booty. That was it. And
Yeah.
I think I didn't know exactly where I fit in or where I took up space. And I think that as you come to learn, like you create the space, you make room, you walk in the room, you got big hips, you got a big booty, like push people out the way, you know what I mean? Like if they're that, and not to be mean about it, but just to say like, I'm here, I take up this space, you're looking at me and you're looking at me for a reason, so I'm going to give you something to look at. Like that confidence, you got to just step right into it. Um and I think that that's kind of what this new generation of music, with Lizzo, and people are so body positive these days. And I think it's a lot easier to do that now than when I was younger. But I had to honestly move away. Like I had to I think I went to a couple camps or something on the East Coast. and people were gassing me. I was like, oh, am I cute? Like, I didn't know. I had no idea. I was like, oh, I'm cute, I guess. And sometimes it does take just stepping outside of your environment and then bringing that confidence that you gain outside back to like where you live, and so that you can feel comfortable where you reside. And I don't know. I think it's awesome because like I live in Bellevue, Washington, which is like a very residential area. And me just going to the park with my friends, like doing our hood rat shit is awesome because people are like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And at the end of the day, we're here. We're here. We're taking up space. We're confident. And it may not be what you're comfortable with, but that's not going to do anything for me and my comfortability. And you just got to learn to be okay with that and step into that.
I agree with everything you just said. Don't be ashamed of your butt. Embrace your big booty because,
Yes.
A lot of people want a big one. So,
yes. And isn't that funny? When I was growing up, I wanted so bad to be skinny. I wanted to be skinny. And now everybody's trying to be thick. So I'm thick.
I know. Yeah, things have definitely changed a lot. Who knows what it'll be like in 10 years. So
For sure.
You're very active on social media, especially Instagram.
Yes.
How important is it for you to stay engaged with your fans on social media?
I think social media is one of those things that also has a duality. Like as a content creator, I can get to a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'm not posting every day, people are going to lose interest or they're not going to feel my vibe and stuff like that. But that's not really true. And I feel like it's kind of the same way I was talking about before. Like, you got to make sure that your environment is comfortable for you. So the idea that Instagram is customizable is so, so dope. Like, I get to put out my vibe, my looks, my energy on my page. And people can decide that they like certain things, or, they can tap into certain things, buy merch. I think it's really cool, the accessibility that you can offer to your fans. And for me, how like personal I can get. I post a lot about my family. I post a lot about things I believe in. Everything's not just, IG model stuff and looking all cute all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's really dope that I'm able to do that. And I love doing that. I love meeting new people that I otherwise wouldn't meet on the internet, and gaining information. And I love it. I think that that's really dope. Obviously you can always get like caught up in it, like I was saying earlier, but just remembering that like you create your environment, you create your timeline, you create your page, your feed, and that everything is up to you, I think just puts the power back into the creator's hands. And so I'm grateful for it. I really love reaching out to people I don't know.
So you got to go on tour with Tuxedo and Travis Thompson and Xavier Omar. What was that experience like?
Yeah, touring for me, I think that was one of my most discouraging parts of Corona, because I feel like every tour I've done has been like a step up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right about to go to South by Southwest and then hopefully East Coast tour. So we were like really planning things out, which we still are. We're just, pushing it back. And it's been awesome. I think, like I started my career as a songwriter and really wanting to be behind the scenes and just write for other artists. And, as I started writing my own stuff and singing my own stuff, I realized that, I was tapping into something that hadn't been done. And then, from that coming into like being comfortable with my live presence and figuring out, okay, well, when I first started performing, I was like, dang, should I have a band? Should I have backup dancers? Should I do comedy? Like, what type of show am I trying to put on here? And I don't really dance like that. And I don't, sometimes I have a band, but I make a lot of my music with my voice. And so I was like, all right, well, how can I make it feel like me? So when I really stepped into, or tapping into like my own personality, like me naturally, I'm a very encouraging person. I'm totally that you go sis, you better fuck it up type of energy. Like that's me. And so I was like, I got to bring that to my set on stage. So, over the years, I started bringing people on stage, making other people dance. If you're a dancer, like pop it, like that's the whole vibe, and feeling like, wow, I could really just let loose for this duration of the show, 1 hour or however long it is. Like I can just feel myself, and that's how people are supposed to feel when they come out. And I started really falling in love with that, especially with the Xavier Omar tour. Um, like I actually drove that tour like the whole way from Canada all the way to Arizona, and it was beautiful, like meeting so many different people, seeing so many different fans from, I mean, Canada's outside the country to Arizona, which is like as far possible from where I live, and seeing people like say all the words mouth like word for word was just like astounding to me. I was so happy, and yeah, it did feel like every single tour has been like an elevation. I'm very grateful for it, and I won't stop. Yeah, I'm gonna be, when things get back to normal, we'll be popping it again for sure.
For sure. And there's been a lot of like virtual at home concerts and festivals. Are you thinking about doing one or do you have one coming up?
Yes, I've done a few already, and I'm going to be doing one with Amazon Music on Twitch on the 20th, and that will be
Oh
like,
wow, that's big.
yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna be doing it's gonna be the like live album, so it will be like a show, and yeah, I'm very excited about that one.
May 20th?
Yeah, May 20th.
Oh wow, that's so exciting. I know you love Brandy and she's one of your favorite artists.
Yes.
So, if you had the chance to remake one of her songs, which one would you pick and why?
Oh my gosh. You know, I'm not gonna, I have done that. I've done like multiple Brandy covers, but girl, I respect this woman so much. I haven't even dared to post a one. Like I'm like I can't do it. But I think my favorite one to sing. I love Almost Doesn't Count. That song is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love what's it called? When You Touch Me. Ooh, When You Touch Me is my song. I might post that one. But I think my whole time favorite is probably Who Is She to You? Don't let her. Yeah, Who Is She to You? That song is funky. That one for sure.
Actually, when I listened to your album, I cannot remember what song it was, but when you were singing, I was like, oh, she kind of reminds me of Brandy a little bit.
I love when people tell me that. And one of the songs I actually did use a Brandy like vocal sample, like in Angel in Disguise, she goes, Still I love you. And I took that for the I must be too real. So I did have some type of Brandy influence for sure.
I definitely heard it. I
Yeah.
definitely heard it.
Awesome.
So, for people who want to keep up with you on social media, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me everywhere. You can find my music on all platforms, Google Play, YouTube, Apple. I'm all Parisalexa, which is one word, no caps except for the P. And you can find me on social media at Parisalexa Music everywhere.
So, besides the Amazon Music Show, do you have anything else coming up?
I think the good thing is people are doing live shows, and so I am constantly adding to my calendar. But I think as of right now, the 20th is what we have on the board. What I really want to do though, at some point soon, I'm sponsored by this weed shop in Seattle called Lux Pot Shop, and they do like community events and stuff like that. And I'm hoping to be able to live stream a show with them. And there's this thing called silent discos where basically everyone gets headphones and you can tap it. Like it's silent. Like, everybody has their own world basically. So I want to do something like that online, and I'll keep posting about it as like, the details kind of get sorted out, but be on the lookout for that probably in the next month or two. And but a lot of new music is coming. I'm just gonna, from quarantine, girl, I'm just gonna drop those. I'm like, the world might end, so might as well get this music out there.
That's true. That's true. So, is there anything else that you like to add?
I don't think so. I think I would just say listen to the album, take it in, and share it with your friends if you like it. and buy some merch. The merch is all available. That's like a great way to help artists that you love right now during these uncertain times.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let me, follow me, talk to me. I'm very interactive. And thank you guys so much for listening.
Oh, well, thank you so much for the interview.
Of course, love.
Don't know. Yeah. See him trying to bite this, can't get like this. He can't